Hi, Andy here. I am a homeschool mom of five. Hello, thanks for joining me today. I have five children. I'm a homeschooler, and I also love to keep things organized and pass on my organizing tips to others. So today we are going to be talking about pantry planning. When we still lived in Michigan, we had a pretty small house. Hi, Robin. And we did not have a pantry. And when 8 years ago, we redid our kitchen, and I planned everything out, where all the pots and pans were going to go, where everything was going to fit into the kitchen. We gutted the whole thing and did it from the walls out. So I got to pick and choose where everything was going to go, but the food still just didn't fit in the kitchen the right way, the way that we wanted it to. So we had some food that was in our basement. We had a small pantry down there. And then at the time when we started doing our family closet, we needed that space for our shoes and some other things. So we had to find a different place for our food. And we had a front coat closet that wasn't too far from the kitchen. So because we had all of our clothes in one place, we were able to move our coats into the family closet too. And so at that point, we had an empty coat closet, and it's a pretty tiny closet. So we found a shelf from IKEA that fit perfectly into the closet. We actually had to assemble it in the closet because we couldn't get it through the door frame. It was such a tight, perfect fit. So it's right behind me. We took it with us when we moved last summer. And when we moved here, there was no place for us to put it. So it's just in the middle of our kitchen dining room area. And I didn't like seeing all of the food falling off of the shelves. So I went to Home Depot and I got some plastic piping and cut it and screwed it onto the shelf. And I just found some curtains at Target and popped those on there. So now the food is here and it's right in our kitchen with us. It's even closer than it was before, but I don't have to see it falling off the shelves, and I don't even have to see it, whether it's falling off or not. So I'm going to show you what's in there, just kind of give you a little bit of a couple tips just to help you if you're trying to reorganize your food and trying to get it to fit better in your home. So one thing I would suggest is if you've got a place, a small area in your kitchen that you could put a shelf or a cabinet, or if you have a closet nearby that you could maybe move stuff out of and revamp that closet. Start thinking outside the box, outside the normal. I tell people, think outside the closet, because closets are supposed to be for clothes, but you can think outside of that boundary and start doing things a little bit differently to make it work for your space. So take everything out, all of your food, go through everything. If you've got expired food, throw it away. You can kind of see if you've got things that you're just constantly buying that you're not actually using. Maybe you have a bunch of food coloring that you don't actually use, or I always have yellow. Yellow is always the one that I have, so I've always got extra bottles of yellow. Throw it away. It's okay. Just get rid of it and go ahead and pare it down to one box. So go through and see, maybe there's stuff that you're buying and not using, and make a mental note. Don't buy this anymore because we never finished the package. Another thing, so when you're taking everything out, organize it all into kind of categories. I like to keep like things together. It makes it easier to see what's in there. You know exactly where you're going. Throw it away. Just throw it away. Get rid of it. Let it go. Because you don't need to hold on to all of the yellow food coloring. So put everything, pull it all out. You're going to have to, but you know what? If you're holding on to it because you're feeling guilty about it, you're holding on to that guilt as well as the actual item. So give yourself the freedom to let it go, to give yourself the space back in your home, to give yourself the freedom and be guilt-free about it. And make that mental note. I don't ever finish this type of food. Let's not buy it anymore. Or let's buy a smaller package that we are actually going to finish for our family's use. But you've already spent the money. So if you've already spent the money and it's not something you can take back to the store, you're you've, I know, let it go. So yeah, you're just holding on to the guilt, and it's eating up inside you, and it's eating up space in your home. So give yourself that permission and freedom to get rid of it and throw it away. So when you pull everything out, go through your whole kitchen. If you've got food stored somewhere else, pull it all out. Set a couple hours aside that you can do this and organize everything. I do canned foods together. Maybe some of the food, and I've done that before. I try to go through, does it spark joy? I try to go through our food, I don't know, maybe twice a year. And if things aren't expired but we're not using it, there's Facebook groups that most of us are a part of locally. So you can just pop it in there and say, hey, does anybody need, a couple years ago we found out that most of our children can't have red food dye. And I had all of those frozen popsicles, the little ices that you pop in the freezer in the summertime. I had a whole box of them, and I couldn't take them back. They were open, so I posted it, and I had a friend come pick them up because she uses them in her neighborhood all summer long for all of the kids. So yeah, if you've got some stuff that's not expired, give it away, and see if somebody else can use it. So when you're setting this time aside for yourself to go through everything, break everything into categories: canned goods, dried goods, snacks. Start putting all of that stuff together. And then, so this is one thing. We've had these boxes for years. I don't know if you can see this. So at Costco, when we shop at Costco, and when you're there, okay, go. So we have these Cheez-It trays that the boxes come in at the store. They've got all of the boxes stored on the pallet. So you can pull boxes out at Costco and take those. And so I took these and I used them to hold all of our spices. So it's not anything that I purchased, but it fits perfectly for all of our spices. So we have, because we buy the big bulk spices at Costco. So we have all of those. And then this plastic drawer is a Sterilite, I don't know what they call them. I think they're called sweater boxes. So it's a big one that we just put all of our random chips and little snacks, crackers, and things like that are in there. So that keeps everything together. If you've got lots of little items, see what you've got around the house. See if you have boxes that you already have. You're not going out and spending money. See if there's something you can get for free, like the Cheez-It trays. And utilize something that you don't have to go out and spend money, but it will help you to organize things. I posted a question on Instagram earlier asking if anybody had any tips about storage. And this is something that we do, but Angie had a different idea, an additional idea. She said that she uses glass jars, and we buy canned peaches at Costco, and they come in these great glass jars, and they've got a measurement on the side. So we save the jars, and we use them for peanuts, and these are sesame sticks, different things like that. But what Angie does is she uses painter's tape to label, because then you can pull that tape off. And I thought that was a really great idea to be able to label things if you've got things stored somewhere that you're. We had in our last kitchen, we had the pull-out drawers. And so when we would look down, I did have a lot of things labeled with our label maker, but if you're constantly changing things, painter's tape would be really good because you can pull it off and relabel. And with painter's tape is not expensive. So that's a really fun idea to use that, or if you've got a lot of washi tape, maybe pull that out. So we just try to keep things like things together. So we have our, this is most of our canned food over here. And then we've got spices, and we have all of our pasta down here. We have cereal down on the shelf. Down on the bottom, we have flour and sugar, and this is what we keep all of our flour and sugar in. Powdered sugar's in here. So we've got these big, the restaurants use these big boxes. So this is really great if you can get a hold of these. There was a kitchen supply store, or a restaurant supply store nearby where we used to live. So we picked up some of those. So if you've got access to something like that, and especially if you're buying anything in bulk, if you have a larger family. We have a couple of these for the flour. Hi, Leah. Because we buy flour at Costco, so it's a big, huge bag, and when we open it, it can't just stay in the open bag. So if you've got a lot of something, it's going to be worth investing in a bigger storage container that will fit your need. So my tips are to purge, get rid of things that you don't need anymore, and just store things like things together. So put all of your soups together, put all of your snacks together, and then when you're going to make your grocery list, it's easier to see, what do I need, what am I out of, and you can also start seeing, hey, we never finished this type of food, let's stop buying it. So yeah, so I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me today. Yes, yeah, if you've got, we have the cereal down low so that the children can grab the cereal and they can get their own cereal if we haven't made breakfast yet and they just need a little something to tide them over. Or some days I just say, we're having cereal today. Go get yourself cereal, and I'm not doing anything for breakfast. So yeah, start thinking about what space you have, where you can keep things, and think outside the closet. So it doesn't have to be in cupboards. We don't have any food. We have one tiny cupboard above our fridge that has a little bit of overflow food, but all of our food is on this pantry or in the fridge. So I really like having it all in one place, because when I'm going to make my grocery list, it's all sitting there, and I'm not having to spend time going through all of the cabinets and drawers to see what food we need to replenish. So thank you all so much for joining me. Next time I do an organizing video, I'm going to talk about kitchen utensils, spoons, spatulas, ladles, things like that. So I will be talking about that hopefully next week. And tomorrow night, if you are a homeschooler, or if you know a homeschooler, or if you're thinking about homeschooling, I am going to be doing a homeschool skip tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Time, so figure out the time zones, with the Homeschool Scopes group. And we are talking about tips for first-time homeschoolers. So if you know somebody, invite them, tell them, and I will see you guys all later. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.